Okay, MacBook Neo is the newest device in Apple's survival horror genre of laptops, where the horror you're meant to survive is being poor. Priced at only 600 peace-breeding Donalds, you could effectively use these as a replacement of your mousepad, doormat, plates, and those cringe paintings you hang in your kitchen to pretend you're a sophisticated person or something. Designed by an Apple intern plagiarizing company's own 10-year-old archives, spat out by Tim Cook's monstrous supply chain, and blessed by Keanu Reeves himself, it has landed in college dorms, children rooms, coffee shops, and millionaire tech YouTuber desk setups all over the world in March. And then the reviews came. They praised this questionably affordable Chromebook alternative meant for kids, students, and old people as a perfect device for
8K ProRAW multicam video editing, processing complex 3D renders, and playing Cyberpunk via x86 compatibility emulation layer.
None of which is part of my everyday workflow, neither at job nor in my free time, so naturally, I had to get one. Look, here, can you see that? It's shiny. It's new. Its color is very nice as well. You poor assholes. I got the Neo, and I'm gonna open it. I then proceeded to use this iPhone cosplaying as a Mac for 2 weeks in variety of dangerous and sanity-threatening situations, such as writing scripts, subscribing to my YouTube channel, and participating in devilish, soul-sucking, Dementor-like phenomena known as work video calls. And I can confidently say that, without a doubt, I have arrived at the point of having used it. Starting with hard things that were apparent to me. The aluminium body feels nice to the touch and to the taste. The colors are fun. This blue one, for example, resembles your poor-ass face when you realize you're the only one without a MacBook in your local Starbucks. This white keyboard looks sick. It weighs the same as literal air. The body is thin. The bezels are thick. And the style, it's undeniable, it looks great. The keys are keying nicely, the trackpad tracks competently despite losing the touch with the force. And the experience feels unexpectedly premium for a $600 laptop compared to every other laptop or Chromebook in that price range, absolutely none of which have I ever used or even touched in my entire life. Also with this trackpad and the sound, it gives me that 2011 netbook vibes. Just more pretentious and financially irresponsible. Know what I mean? Yeah, apparently netbooks are back. Shitty specs and clicky trackpads is what we're going with. Compared to this ThinkPad T480 that I just found laying somewhere on the street, MacBook Neo looks like that one annoying kid with rich parents and a hedge fund next to a smart, chubby, nerdy boy that you bullied at school. I know you did. I was that kid. Compared to the M1 Max Chungus, it looks like MacBook Air. And compared to MacBook Air, it looks... well, it looks very bad, but I'll get to that later. The webcam is competent and will be perfectly suitable for keeping your video off during video calls. Speakers will serve you well during your beat-making sessions. I mean, those speakers aren't that great, to be honest, but your beats are trash anyways, so it doesn't really matter for you, does it? And the screen will produce photons at wavelengths that are perceivable to human eye, and you wouldn't even be able to tell the difference if I swapped this for a CRT panel anyways, so you really don't need to worry about it. The notch is gone, so you will never forget that you have less money than other people at Starbucks, and I would say that MacBook Neo does a great job of delivering that status flex that you so desperately need, despite being slightly mutilated. Okay, now, believe it or not, but in a desperate reach for more views and subscribers, I switched entirely from my M1 Max MacBook Pro to this guy, with my whole digital life. I mean everything. Writing, programming, slacking, gaming, watching Love is Blind, video editing, FaceTiming, even online gambling, and all of that on a laptop that is less powerful than my phone. By the way, you can learn more about that in this video over here. Just go ahead and click it. Just do it, just click it, and then come back here. You crazy person, you. Okay, so I wanted to daily this thing to the ground, whatever that means. And how did it go? Well, it turns out that if you take iPhone 16 Pro, remove the cameras, remove the touchscreen, and slap a crippled keyboard, an additional Temu-sourced USB-C port, and some leftover displays onto it, you can do quite a lot with it.
Well, quite a lot, meaning exactly what you... ugly bastard.
I hear you ask. Well, enough for me to actually complete everything I do every day using MacBook Neo without this feeling of wanting to put my head into a microwave. A18 Pro is perfectly suitable for everything you might want to do on a laptop. If you rip out one singular core out of it, it is actually faster than both M1, M2 and M3 I think, so it's quite impressive. So what I did is I attacked it with, let me see, Arc, Slack, Cursor, Safari, Chrome, Notion, Asana, Spotify, Tor browser, DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut Pro and K-pop Demon Hunters streaming in the background all at the same time, and the CPU took it like a champ. It didn't even choke, kinda like your mother.
But Jacob, MacBook Neo isn't meant for that kind of work at all. It is actually a Chromebook alternative.
And you claim that based on what? Exactly.
Well, the pricing and the form factor, the market segment that it targets is quite obvious.
Did I ask you a question? Go to your room and watch more of my videos. That'll teach you how to address a celebrity. MacBook Neo will do exactly as I command. And if I wanted to spin up 50 virtual machines with Windows Vista on them, it will do so without complaining. One thing that will actually choke on a reasonable workflow like the one I mentioned earlier is RAM. To be fair, 8 gigs can take you surprisingly far if you ignore memory pressure, which regularly jumps so high it hits Earth's fucking dome. This results with not only swap slowly but constantly murdering your hard drive, but also in slight stutters and lags when switching between programs, which is something you might want to do on a computer. It will work, which is why I kept using it, but you can definitely say that it would prefer if you politely closed everything that is running in the background and just focus on one single app like a good little sim. Well, hopefully EU will soon ban laptops with less than 128 gigs of RAM, which will eliminate such jokes from the tech scene, and which will pair perfectly with the current situation on memory markets. One thing that MacBook Neo was not actually able to handle correctly was driving my absolute unit of an external display. I daily drive a 4K 32-incher, which is not very big to be honest, it's quite average of a size I would say, and it turned out to be trickier for Neo than convincing a Linux user to take a shower. macOS display scaling is unapologetic, steaming hot, wheel-breaking, nonsensical, unrecyclable garbage, with its sole purpose being convincing you to buy more overpriced empty iMac shells. Which leads to the following issue. MacBook Neo can drive 4K resolution just fine, but unless your desk setup includes a fucking telescope, you won't be wanting to use that. Well, it shouldn't be an issue, right? You can just select 1440p, it has right UI size, it's still plenty sharp, you don't need any NASA equipment to use it, it's okay, you should be okay. Well, what's your problem, mate? Well, the problem is that 1440p on macOS is unreadable, blurry, smeary mess. Well, that's of course it's because some high DPI retina super ultra pixel PPI quantum triangulation bullshit that I do not care about in the slightest if it's unusable, which it is. I hate it.
That's just incredible.
So what you're left with is using your 32-inch display in 1080p, feeling like a toddler with too much money and bad eyesight. I usually bypass this on my other Macs using custom 3008 by 1692 resolution, which is essentially 6K scaled down. But the mere thought of displaying a 6K image makes MacBook Neo fall face down to the floor in a terrifying display of panic attack mixed with madness that renders it unusable for about 3 days, so it's not an option here. The battery is alright though, with CPU idling at about 1/10 of a watt with occasional spikes to 1/4 of a watt. The battery life is decent. Despite being the size of your average Bethesda CEO, this battery will get you through a day of watching Flickazoi videos with ease. The more Windows Vista VMs you run, the more of a hit your battery life will take, of course, but what else did you expect? Are you dumb? Like, why would you even think about that? Running Windows Vista in a virtual machine? Why would you do that? $599, an unprecedented price, so affordable. Amazing display of philanthropy by Apple. Oh my god, it's just so affordable. Literally the best thing since God invented pizza. It's just so affordable. Everybody and their dog are buying these. Parents are literally pushing those through the wombs to their unborn children so that they can use it ASAP. Just so affordable. The best product to ever be conjured up by capitalism. Triumph of democracy. Except it's not. See, Apple loves to present their product lines in a perfectly designed, meticulously priced, and obsessively thought through vacuum. Like, there's nothing else. No other phones exist, no other laptops exist, no other companies exist, even their own products sometimes don't exist. You mortgage your house for a brand new M5 MacBook Pro? Guess what? The day the M6 comes out, this M5 MacBook Pro, it's gone. M5? Never even heard of her. It never happened. Just like your dad, it came out for a pack of cigarettes and never came back. M5, that's ancient history. Scientists are still arguing about the existence of M5. Did it exist? Did aliens build it? We don't know really. Here is M6, you know? We have M6 if you want. It's very cool, it's new, it's shiny, it replaces M5. Just buy M6, just buy M6! The prices? No. And that's the issue. MacBook Neo loses 432% of its appeal the moment you start airbending. Okay, so this is Neo's Matrix world. Ooh, so cheap. Ooh, so sexy. Haha, what a great deal. You see, it's a great deal. It's the cheapest. It's amazing. It's awesome. You need to buy this immediately. Ooh, we're so great. We're so amazing at Apple here. We're just the best. But the moment you take the red pill, well, bam! Its ugly overpriced nature reveals itself. At least when you look at Polish Slavic coin prices. It may vary depending on where you live. MacBook Air is just superior to MacBook Neo in every possible and impossible regard. Screen, better. Processor, better. Speakers, better. Ports, better. It has MagSafe. It has the ability to spec it out and get more RAM. Design, better. Keyboard, better. And it's backlit. Like, it's not even funny. And depending on where you live and whether you're okay with going used or refurbished, you can get MacBook Airs with M2, M3, or even M4 for similar prices like the MacBook Neo. And if not, you can just go to a casino and win those missing 10 cents on a slot machine. Plus, with MacBook Air you can hunt for 15-inch versions, if you are a connoisseur of big things. MacBook Neo is a fucking fantastic device. Like, I loved using it. It was great. I loved it. It's a great device. But it's a disaster of a deal. I don't think anyone in their right mind should buy this if you can instead just go hunt for MacBook Air, where you will experience the satisfaction that this poor MacBook Neo could only dream of giving you. And it's a shame, really. I mean, with couple small tweaks, I think that this could basically reach the MacBook Air level while maintaining the admittedly not that terrible price. But then what's the point of MacBook Air? And you know, the lineup has to make sense for them, right? Those margins won't make themselves. Perhaps next year, little boy. Now go back to Tim and tell him to stop chipping out on RAM. Then we will talk. Okay, imagine this, right? Imagine that you're carrying only this as your main device. Like, you have your iPhone, you're blue bubbling away as per usual, and then you just sit at your desk, you go to, I don't know, your home, your office, your work, you plug in USB-C, right? And bam, you have macOS. Like, wouldn't that be sick? Wouldn't that be great? Imagine this. Kind of like DeX on Samsungs and Folds, you know? Or the weird desktop mode in old Windows phones, you know? You remember that one? It was interesting. It didn't quite work, but the idea was very compelling to me. With this, they basically admitted that they could totally do it, because they are at the point now where they can just run any OS on any chip. Like, we have macOS running on 8 chips and we have iPadOS running on M chips. Yeah, they just admitted we can totally run macOS on an iPhone chip without cooling, and it works fucking flawlessly. It's like they're putting it to your face. It's pretty sad. Like, they are telling you that they could do it, they totally could do it, but they won't. Like, they totally won't do it. It would be so cool though. Wonder how they will solve this problem with iPhone Fold. I'm very interested. It's coming this year, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with when it comes to software. Because what is it gonna have? It's gonna have iOS or iPadOS or a hybrid or what, right? Yeah. So it's definitely an interesting time to be a pretentious, privileged little bitch that's into Apple tech. I'll tell you what. Watch more of my videos.